We're going to get to the future of Luis Diaz now. Liverpool seem to be in pole position to sign the Porto winger. Emma, this one moving quickly, as are Liverpool.
Yeah, they are. And outside looking in, it feels like a big turnaround because, of course, all week we were talking about Luis Diaz potentially going to Tottenham and headed to North London. And then early this morning, we were reporting that actually Liverpool now considering a move for him. So outside looking in, it felt like things are sort of moving quickly, and look, they've accelerated since then as well, because in terms of the deal would be a 45 million euro deal. That's around 37 million pounds for the player, plus a maximum of 15 million euros in terms of bonuses as well. That, of course, depending on his success if he were to come to Liverpool. And look, it seems like it's kind of come out of the blue, but in terms of the background, Diaz was a target for Jurgen Klopp in the summer. It's just a case of Liverpool now accelerating this interest because the likes of Tottenham were interested in signing him, and obviously he might not be available in the summer if that did come around. So also worth saying as well, this is a better deal that Liverpool would be getting because 60 million euros was the original asking price from Porto. Liverpool fans kind of getting in touch excited. Tottenham fans not so much, but for Liverpool fans it's not something that we expect to be announced today. This is quite a complex deal. It's not sort of close at the moment, probably around 72 hours is the kind of timescale we're looking at. Liverpool very much in pole position, but there is lots to be done before that. And the whole thing that's making this a lot more complex as well is that he is part of his national side at the moment, out with Colombia, in Argentina. So Liverpool sending a team over to Argentina to get this deal done. Maybe he even has a medical out in Argentina as well, out in South America. Of course, Argentina is where Colombia play next on Tuesday. So look, things seem to be moving swiftly, and it seems like it's come out of the blue. But like I said, one that Liverpool had an eye on for the summer, but having to do something a little bit sooner now.
Yeah, we'll get into it in a little bit more detail. But earlier on, I spoke to Portuguese football expert Felipe Diaz, who expects this deal to go through and says Liverpool will be getting the best player in Portugal. At the start of the window, we were talking about those links with Liverpool, then Spurs, now Liverpool again. What are you hearing now?
What we're hearing so far, this was big news last night, not so long ago, a few hours ago, that he is bound for Liverpool, that Liverpool are on the brink of signing him. Porto are playing it safe. They're not saying much about this because it's their star player, it's their key player. They're top of the league. They didn't want to lose him just now. But the thing is that Liverpool has an offer for 45. I'm thinking in terms of euros. Sorry, 45 million euros plus with 15 with the add-ons if certain goals are achieved. And this is something that Porto cannot say no to. This is an offer they just can't refuse. So the deal might go through within the next couple of days, or maybe within the next hours. We still don't know, but most of the newspapers here, the news here is that the deal is going through. So it does appear seriously that Luis Diaz, the best player in the Portuguese league, mind you, is going to be signed by Liverpool.
Yeah, and I mean, you obviously think very highly of him, the way that you're describing him as being a player. Could you see him fitting in well at Liverpool?
Oh, for sure. I think this is the kind of player that Klopp likes. You know, technically he's very, very gifted. I think he's bound for greater things than the Portuguese league, no doubt about that. He's the best Colombian player at the moment, the best player in the Portuguese league at the moment. He can do anything up front. He's not a centre forward, but he can do almost anything. This guy really has something special about him, and there's no doubt in my mind that if things go normally, he will fit in perfectly at Liverpool. No doubt about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so Felipe saying he has absolutely no doubt he'd fit in well at Liverpool, says he's the best player in the Portuguese league. He's something special, clearly thinks very highly of him. Flex, he is someone that Klopp has had on his radar. From your perspective, do you see him fitting in with this Liverpool side?
Yes, I do. From a Liverpool perspective, really, really smart business. You look at the types of fees that were brandished around Mo Salah, Mane, and Diogo Jota, all around this kind of ballpark, and it's a typical Klopp signing. But in terms of the player and how he's going to fit in, you're getting someone who is an aggressive in the press. He's got bags of energy. He's lethal on his right foot, cutting in off that left-hand side. Very dynamic, does his defensive duties well. He's a really exciting player. Yes, it may take time to adapt to the league. You know, sometimes they can't always be a Bruno Fernandes coming from Portugal and hitting the ground running straight away. But he's a very, very exciting player. And he gets goals as well. We can see here in 16 goals in 28 games with 6 assists, so he can do his job offensively for the team as well, and definitely the sort of player that can add to that dynamic kind of way that Liverpool want to play. And you look at the likes of Mane, some Liverpool fans have said, you know, we need to freshen it up. I remember Jamie Carragher saying every few years that you need to kind of move on with that front three. And they haven't managed to do that at Liverpool and still kept them firing. So Jota came in at the right time and freshened it up, and looks like Diaz can come in and do that too.
You say about him getting goals. Some of his goals in the Copa America last year were sensational,
Unreal.
by the way. Like Puskas Award nomination for some of his goals.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you say it's quite a Liverpool signing, but he's a player on an upward trajectory, isn't
Yeah.
he? So they're picking a player up like they do who are yet to kind of get to their best years.
And still not having to pay astronomical, transfer fee for him. So I think it will be great. It will potentially be great business if he hits the ground running. And under Jurgen Klopp as well, who's got this knack and this understanding of how to improve players and elevate them to the next level in a strict pressing system, playing expansive football, getting at teams. He could be a big problem.
It's actually Jamie Carragher's birthday today, and he's pleading, isn't he? Please sign him today. Please.
It'll be a perfect present for him now.
We've seen it. We've seen it. Pleading.
You touched on it there about Liverpool kind of being a bit ruthless. They've seen this opportunity. They're acting now, kind of accelerating plans, because he was a target we understood for the summer. Our very own Anton Tolui tweeted just a short time ago. He was speaking really highly of the player on the transfer shows on Wednesday, and he says being aggressive to get him earlier than planned is a smart move. And Flex, you did already kind of say that. You agree with that?
Absolutely.
It's smart from Liverpool.
It shows that they're not just going to sit there and rest on their laurels. They're being proactive, or should I say really reactive, in terms of looking at Spurs and saying, right, OK, we're not going to get him if we wait. Let's go now. Let's push forward now. So they've clearly scouted him and know exactly what they want from him, and know exactly about him. And they can't afford to let him go to Spurs. If you look at where Liverpool are now, they know they're in a much better position than Spurs, not just in the league table, but in terms of their development, who they've already got at the club are much more appealing. So it seems like they've put the plan in place to go and get the player. And like I said, for the rest of the Premier League, who Liverpool keep playing well and doing well, it's another player to add to their ranks.
Yeah, so it is good news for Liverpool fans. Not so good for Tottenham, as you already said, Emma. Michael, how disappointing will this news have been to Spurs fans?
Yeah, of course it's disappointing. You know, he's a very exciting player, but Antonio Conte has made it very clear, you know, when he speaks pre-match and in his press conferences, that you know, he needs better, he needs a stronger squad. In fact, this is what he said a few weeks ago in a press conference about the quality he's inherited.
After only 2 weeks, I say that we need to improve the quality of the squad. And for sure, we need to improve the quality of the squad. And I was sure after 7 days, 10 days, 2 weeks about this. And then I make the evaluation to understand who is the players that I can count and the players that I can count. But for sure, and the squad needs to improve the quality, but in an important way.
And Michael, I mean, we hear from Conte there. When you look at what Liverpool are doing here in terms of trying to get this one over the line, does it raise further questions over Tottenham's transfer policy and the way that they go about their business when you look at that ruthlessness from Liverpool?
Just on this player in particular, on Diaz, Spurs were prepared to match the fee and match everything which Liverpool are going to pay. I need to say this because I know that's the case. On this occasion, the player just simply wants to go to Liverpool. And Liverpool's interest has been long-term. It's not that they've just come in and said, oh, Spurs, we like the look of this player Spurs are getting. It's been known for a long time. So just on this occasion, Spurs would have matched everything that Liverpool are going to offer, but this player is going to join Liverpool. Disappointment, but Spurs will move on. But I look at it, you know, Tottenham at 4, Liverpool 1, October 2017 at Wembley. The sort of clubs were there, and now it's Liverpool are there and Spurs are there. And Antonio Conte's been very honest about it. There's been obsession and chat about Spurs always liking to leave it late. But if Tottenham went in for Diaz on January the 1st, Would Liverpool have gone in for him? Yes, they would. Going by what we know. It's just not a good look when there's previous frustrations, and it's hard to take for supporters. They've lost sort of 2 key targets in 2 days for many reasons, but they've got a director of football in place, and with Antonio Conte there now, and no incomings yet. So, look, it's going to be a busy few days, I'm sure. But as we've just played out there, Antonio Conte has been very honest. He wants better players. I think he's done an excellent job so far with the players he's had at his disposal. They've only lost 1 league game. They're banging the top 4 race. What he needs now is a few in. But he has openly said as well, it will take more than 1 window. Gianluca Di Marzio, who knows Conte, our colleague at Sky in Italy, he has said Spurs are going to go all out in the summer to completely revamp this squad. You cannot do it in 1 window. So we talk about
a January one as well.
Yes, so when people say, oh, he's going to walk if he doesn't get this and that, he is fully aware that this squad needs a serious service, because over the last few years, and it's not even about spending, it's just they've not spent it right. We're talking about Tanguy Ndombele, a record signing, about to go on loan. Giovanni Lo Celso, 40-odd million from La Liga, wasn't in the squad against Chelsea. Dele Alli, that's 3 kind of creative players who could be on their way out. So they need to sort it out. And they're still in the top 4 race.
Does this show, though, as well, with Antonio Conte? He was such a big manager in the game, so successful. And part of having him there was to be able to draw players in for them to say, actually, I will believe in that product. I will go and play for Antonio Conte. But is this part of it as well, Mike, in terms of actually it's more than that at Tottenham because of where they are, and they're not in Europe, and yes, we can say about trophies and stuff like that. But in terms of their development as a club, it shows where they actually are. That it's not just easy enough just to put a manager of Antonio Conte's prowess there and say we're definitely going to be able to attract the players.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't always think the Champions League is the be-all and end-all. You know, Tottenham had a summer once where they're in the Champions League and didn't sign anyone. And they went on to the Champions League final. But you look back now and say, look, if they did get that extra 1 or 2 in, they could have won the Champions League.
And is that the frustration?
People look now and go and laugh. Well, they were in the final of it. And now they're not in Europe. So Antonio Conte has been absolutely bang on of where the club is now. Best training ground, one of the best stadiums in the world. And they just need to get the playing staff right. It's obviously been a frustrating few weeks, but Spurs can feel good knowing that they've got this world-class manager, and it's just, hopefully, they can back him with some world-class signings. They've missed out on this player, but it's not as if they haven't done enough, because I know for the record they have. He just wants to go to Liverpool.